It is the dawn of the 19th century, an age of science, superstition, and witchcraft. Howling fills the night as a full moon rises over the small, secluded village of Shadowbrook. Gruesome murders have become a daily occurrence, and terror haunts the streets at night. An evil creature has taken up residence here, and the countryside is engulfed by a tide of darkness. But all is not lost, not yet. A small group of heroic individuals, with the courage and strength to fight, have arrived in town. Some just passing through while others have come with a purpose, but all will be put to the test as they race to save this cursed town from falling into darkness. It will take a cunning mind and strength of spirit to determine who is friend and who is foe, to solve the mysteries and hunt the beast to its lair. But the secrets of Shadowbrook run deep. Gossip and rumors run rampant, and the heroes may soon discover that they are outsiders here, and this town is already so rotten from within there is little left to save. Within Celtic mythology there exists a malevolent creature called the Banshee, more commonly known as the Banshee. The Banshee is said to be the ghost of a woman that died a tragic death, usually as a result of childbirth or murder. She is known for her blood-curdling wail that is believed to petrify anyone who hears its baneful lament. The Banshee often appears as a frightful-looking old hag, with wiry hair and blood-red eyes. In some cases, the Banshee will disguise her appearance as a beautiful and desirable young woman, as she seeks to seduce young men before frightening them to death. Some believe that the creature is a portend of doom, while others believe she is simply a violent and malevolent spirit that gains pleasure from the demise of the living. So, if you are outdoors after dark and you hear a plaintive wail drifting across the moors, remember the story of the Banshee, and consider yourself fortunate indeed that you have not been accosted by the harbinger of death, that is called the Banshee.
Since his earliest recollection, Thomas Hartley has been a traveller and a scrounger. After the death of his parents when he was just a boy, Thomas has had to rely on his own ingenuity and street smarts in order to survive. Thomas functioned as a scout for the Continental Army during the War for Independence, and he incurred a cruel injury at the end of a British officer's sword, losing his left eye and receiving a grievous scar across his face. After the war, Thomas employed the knowledge he gained as a scout and now makes his living as a courier, forever traveling from city to city and town to town. In that process, Thomas has seen more than his share of strange events. As our story opens, Thomas has just arrived in Shadowbrook with a special delivery for one of the town elders, and he will soon find himself wrapped inside the shadowy and lethal events which are just unfolding. Carl Stadler has been a soldier all his life, and he has witnessed the horrors of war with his own eyes. During his service with the Continental Army, Carl witnessed not only what men can do to other men, but what supernatural entities, specters and the undead, can do to the living. Since the end of the war, Carl has studied and researched the occult sciences and has become a hunter of the things of the night, committing his life to tracking down and killing those things that are not from this world. Anne-Marie Spencer is a relatively new arrival to the town of Shadowbrook. She has been hired to replace the former schoolmaster who disappeared under very mysterious circumstances. Besides her scholastic abilities, she has a well-respected background in the esoteric arts of the supernatural, and has learned a great deal about it from her vast collection of books, biographies, and ancient tomes. Anne-Marie has recognized that something malevolent is living in the area around Shadowbrook, and has committed herself to aiding the citizens of the town to uncover the source of this evil and exposing whoever, or whatever, is abetting it. Maria de la Rosa is a daughter of the sea, having been born into a long line of Spanish seafaring nobility. Maria is now a woman of great renown. Her life is centered on smuggling, treasure hunting, and the thrill of recovering ancient relics of great power and value. She has just arrived in Tidewater seeking a long-lost family heirloom of great personal significance. However, her search for this heirloom may lead her down a path that she is unprepared for, down a path filled with the supernatural.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight I'm going to be returning to the mysterious town of Shadowbrook, and another playthrough of Flying Frog Productions' A Touch of Evil 10-year anniversary edition. In this playthrough, I'll be controlling 4 randomly selected investigators, and they'll be pursuing the soulless woman of the moors, the dreaded Banshee. In this game, I'll be using the Team of Heroes rules for solo play. This rule places all event cards into a community pool, which may be played by any hero. Other than that, the rules remain the same as in the base game. In addition, I'll be employing the cooperative shadow track, along with the advanced mystery phase chart. And to make for a more competitive game, I'll be employing the optional Hunting for Clues rule, which slightly modifies the rules regarding the collection of investigation tokens. I've already prepared the game for play. I've assigned the secrets cards to the town elders, shuffled all of the decks, and placed the heroes' models on their starting locations. The villain and her minion chart, along with her minion counters, have been placed on a stand and are ready to begin. The Banshee will command up to 8 barrow shades and the unique minion called the Groundskeeper. Now let's take a look at her special abilities and the contents of her minion chart. The Banshee has the keywords villain, ghost, and soulless. And that keyword ghost is going to be very important on how we're going to target this creature. Banshee will begin the game with a combat level of 7, which is relatively high, and she'll begin with a total of 16 wound or health boxes. Her special rules include Wailing Death, echoing through the foggy night. The shrill wail of the Banshee spreads terror across the land. Freezing her victims to the spot, she descends from the sky to devour their souls. For every fight dice roll of 6 that the Banshee gets, the hero must pay 2 investigation or take an additional hit. In addition, she has 4 advanced abilities. First one is Will-O-Wisps. Anytime a hero is KO'd or a town elder is killed, the villain gains +1 wound marker. She's a Spectre. The Banshee gains +1 combat against any hero with less than Spirit 4. And that's going to end up being quite important to us, that we need to get our heroes' spirit values up to at least 4 to eliminate that advantage for the Banshee. She also has a Guardian Keeper. While the Groundskeeper minion is on the board, the Banshee is +2 wounds. And finally, Shrieking in the Night. Anytime the mystery card Murder is played, place an extra 2 investigation at the location as well as 2 investigation in every adjacent space, and move the shadow track 1 extra step closer to darkness. Well, that's a bit of a double-edged sword. We're going to be getting more investigation tokens on the board, but at the same time, the shadow track is going to be advancing at a quicker pace. And now let's take a look at her minion chart. On a d6 roll of 1, the result is going to be Echo of the Moors, and that's an event. Every hero must immediately make an Honor 5+ test. If passed, gain 2 investigation for every 5+ rolled. If failed, choose and discard 1 event card from hand, or discard 1 ally, hero's choice. The shadow track moves 1 step closer to darkness. Then on a result of 2 to 3, we have the Barrow Shade, a minion, ghost, and soulless. Has 3 fight dice, 2 health capacity, and for victory we would gain 4 investigation. It has some special abilities. The heroes must use spirit instead of combat during the fight. And for every dice roll of 1 the hero rolls, they take an additional hit on themselves. So that makes the Barrow Shades quite dangerous. Then we have the Groundskeeper. Now this is a unique minion. His keywords are minion, man, and unique. He has 4 fight dice, and his wounds it's a different procedure when combating him. This is going to be limited to only a single fight round. And for victory, it would depend upon the number of hits that we do to the Groundskeeper and the number of hits that he does to us. He's unique. There's only 1 Groundskeeper. If he is already on the board when rolled, move him to the new location. Anytime you would be called on to place multiple copies of this minion at once, place Barrow Shades for the excess instead, such as for the mystery card Tide of Darkness. We're limited to only 1 fight round against him. The heroes must use cunning instead of combat during the fight. For every hit done to the Groundskeepers, the heroes will gain 2 investigation. And for every hit the Groundskeeper does to the hero, they must also lose 2 investigation or discard 1 ally, hero's choice. So that means that they're going to be taking their normal wounds, but in addition to that, they also would lose the investigation or the ally. After every fight with the Groundskeeper, roll a d6. On a roll of 6, gain an additional 5 investigation and remove the Groundskeeper from the game. Any future rolls of 4 on this chart are treated as Barrow Shade above. Otherwise, immediately move the Groundskeeper to a new random location. If the same location is drawn, discard and draw again. Well, that's going to be very tough to deal with, so we're only going to have a 1 in 6 chance of truly defeating the Groundskeeper. Finally, we have the Banshee attack, and that's an event. The villain attacks. The hero must immediately resolve a single fight round with the villain. Instead of causing wounds, each hit done to the villain gains 1 investigation from the hero. This does not count as a showdown. If there are no heroes in the space, instead place 2 investigation at the location and the shadow track moves 1 step closer to darkness. So to minimize the Banshee's advantages, it looks like we're going to need to raise the spirit values of the investigators to at least 4. Number 2, we're going to try to prevent the investigators from being KO'd by using the escape rules and by collecting item and event cards that ignore hits during combat. This will help to counteract her ability of the Will-O-Wisps, in which she gains a wound or health marker for every time that a elder is killed or a hero is KO'd. So we want to try to prevent that as much as possible. Number 3, eliminate the Groundskeeper if he appears on the board. So it appears that the way to get rid of him is just to kind of overwhelm him with attacks, and eventually, with a little luck, we would roll a 6 following the encounter, and he would be removed from the game. Number 4, raise the cunning values of the investigators, as they must use cunning to combat the Groundskeeper. And finally, number 5, investigate the status of Reverend Harding and Lord Hanbrook. the most useful of the town elders. Reverend Harding has an ability that he gains +2 fight dice when he's combating ghosts, and the Banshee has a ghost keyword, so he would probably be the most powerful out of the 9 town elders that we could get on our side. Now we'll take a closer look at the capabilities of our investigators. To begin, we have our first player, and that's Thomas the Courier. He has a spirit of 3, cunning of 2, combat of 3, and 2 honor. His spirit of 3 is obviously less than 4, so we'd like to get him to at least 4 to be able to minimize the Banshee's special ability. He has the abilities Traveler, +2 to move, which is really helpful. We'll be playing obviously with 3 boards, and we have a lot of ground to cover, so those move bonuses are very welcome. And finally, he has the Delivery ability. At the start of the game, you may peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. And we'll probably end up targeting Reverend Harding, I think, with that special ability. Thomas does have a upgrade that's called Strength in Numbers. It's going to award him an extra health box, and in addition, he is +1 fight dice for every town elder in the space and every ally that he has with him. So if we're able to get him that upgrade, that would be a very powerful addition to Thomas. Now, if we do get that upgrade, it would make sense that we would want to try to acquire some allies to bump that advantage up to as much as possible. Next up is Carl the Soldier. He has a spirit of 2, cunning 2, combat 4, and honor 5. He's by far our most proficient combat investigator, but he does have a deficit in the spirit category, so it's going to take some effort to get his spirit up to 4 or greater to help to combat that advantage by the Banshee. Carl has the upgrade called Battle Tactics. It's going to give him a +1 to cunning, a +1 to combat, and then once per fight round, he's able to re-roll one of his fight dice, which is pretty powerful. His single special ability is Veteran. You may ignore the first hit taken during each fight round. This has no additional benefit with Lady Hanbrook's special ability. So Carl's a definite fighter. Next up, we have Anne-Marie, the school teacher. She has a powerful 4 spirit, 3 cunning, 2 combat, and 3 honor. Her upgrade is Chain of Thought, which is going to award her +1 to cunning and an extra health box. And that ability is whenever you draw an event card, draw an extra event card on a d6 roll of 5 or 6. This may cascade. Her special abilities are lightweight, may not use gun items except the pistol. She has a very powerful Knowledge is Power. Gain +2 combat for each book item you have. So that would be beneficial when we're in the final showdown against the Banshee. We're definitely going to want to try to get some books into her possession. And finally, we have Maria de la Rosa, the Smuggler. She has a spirit value of 2, cunning of 3, combat of 3, and an honor of 3. Her upgrade is Dirty Fighting. It's going to earn her +1 to cunning, and once per fight round, she can spend 3 investigation to roll +2 fight dice. She has the special abilities Barter. Town items cost her 1 investigation less to purchase to a minimum of 1. And she has a very powerful Secret Roots ability. She may use any secret passage printed on the board for free during her move rather than in place of her move. So that means that, as an example, if she was moving through the manor to go to the monastery, she doesn't have to stop at the manor and then use the secret passage the next turn. She can continue through all in one fell swoop. So it appears to be that our strategy will be to acquire books for Anne-Marie to maximize her bonus and have her spend time at the manor, which is where books are prevalent, so I think that would make sense. Also, we'd need to acquire some transport for Maria, which would maximize her secret roots ability. This would provide her with an enormous amount of mobility to be able to utilize those secret passages. She'd be able to move very quickly across the 3 boards. And finally, for the dice we'll be using during the game, I've decided to go with a set of smaller dice. We're going to be using the white dice for the heroes, the black dice for the villain and her minions, and the red dice will serve as an example during the showdown if we have to target any of the evil elders or if the villain is targeting an elder during the showdown. We've placed the marker on the shadow track in the 20 space, and the game is now set and we're ready to begin. The object of the game is for our investigators to find the lair of the Banshee and bring her into a showdown and kill her there. Investigators can lose the game in 2 ways. First way is if all 4 investigators are knocked out at the same time. That will result in the loss of the game. The next method would be to have the shadow track move down to 0. Either of those 2 conditions would lose us the game. And we're ready to begin our game. We're going to begin with the game round sequence, and that'll start with the first player's turn. That will be Thomas the Courier. Step 2 will be the other heroes will go in successive order, Carl, Anne-Marie, and then Maria. And that'll be followed by a mystery phase, and that's the phase where the game fights back against the investigators. Each hero's turn is broken into 3 steps. Step 1 is movement. We're going to roll a d6, and that individual will be able to move that number of spaces on the map. Number 2, if that location they move to has any enemies in the space, they will need to combat them. And finally, step 3, the hero can take several different actions. These actions can be performed in any order. The actions include encountering the space, collecting investigation from the board, healing wounds, looking at the secrets of town elders, purchasing a lair card, starting a showdown, or exchanging items with a fellow investigator in the same location. Thomas is our first player, and we're going to begin with him. Now, he has an ability called Delivery. At the start of the game, you may peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. I think Thomas is going to target Reverend Harding. We determined that Reverend Harding is probably our most capable ally that we can acquire, so I think we'll start with him. And now let's take a look at the secret that Reverend Harding is harboring. His secret is revealed as Coward. The town elder has gone through life with a boastful roar and an arrogant bravado. In reality, when confronted with the most trivial of threats, they are reduced to a whimpering, quivering lump, just as likely to soil themselves as they are to run screaming into the night. While part of a hunting party, roll a d6 at the start of each showdown fight round. On a roll of 1, 2, or 3, the town elder runs away screaming. Return the town elder to its normal position. So, we've learned some valuable information about Reverend Harding. He is not a reliable compadre for us during the showdown. So, that turns out to be a very valuable piece of intel. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to count on Reverend Harding during the showdown. So we may want to acquire a different elder than what we were planning on. All right, we're ready to begin the turn with Thomas. He'll start with his move. Thomas has the Traveler ability, so we'll be adding 2 to his move roll. And he rolls a 6, so he has a total of 8 movement points. Let's calculate where we'd like Thomas to move. Thomas is going to use those 8 movement points, and he's going to move deep into the Echo Lake board. I'm going to have him move from the town hall to the south dock. There's some investigation that he can acquire there, so we'll have him move 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and Thomas arrives at the south dock. Now, as there are no enemies at that location, Thomas can begin his actions, and we can take these actions in any order that we choose. And to begin with Thomas, I think I'm going to do a collect investigation from the board action. Now, some new rules with the 10th edition regards how investigation is collected. In the original version, you had to move to the space and then make a collect investigation check, in which you would test either spirit or cunning, and for each success you would be able to grab one of the investigation tokens. The game has kind of split this up a little bit now, where through movement, during the movement phase, if you move through a space with 1 or more investigation tokens, you can take 1 investigation token as you move through the space. Now, it also has changed things where if you end your turn in a space with investigation tokens, you can pick all of them up with no skill test required. But we're using that optional rule called hunting for clues. And so what we're going to do is we'll still have the 10th edition rules about collecting investigation during the move phase, but we're going to add hunting for clues. That will make the game slightly more difficult, and I think it makes it a little bit more exciting. So what we'll do is when a character enters a space with investigation, he's not entitled to pick any of those up. He has to do a collect investigation action, testing spirit or cunning 5+, and for each success he gains an investigation token from the space. That's what we're going to do with Thomas. We have the option of testing either spirit or cunning, and Thomas is going to use his spirit. He has a spirit value of 3. He'll be rolling 3 dice for the test. And unfortunately, he has no successes. He rolled a 1 and 2 3s. So he won't be able to get any investigation tokens this turn. Next up, he's going to encounter the space. Now that's mandatory. It doesn't matter when you do it, but during your actions phase, you must encounter the space you're on, unless it's a road space, which has no encounterable features. So we're going to encounter the south dock, and it says roll a d6. On a 3+, draw an event. On a 1 or 2, draw a mystery card. This space is considered to be a dangerous location, and there's several of them peppered throughout each of the maps. These spaces allow us the option of gaining event cards, but at the risk of drawing a mystery card. So we'll make the roll and see if we can get an event card. Roll is a 3, so we're going to be drawing an event card. Event cards are almost always beneficial, unlike the mystery cards, which are always detrimental. All right, we'll draw the event and see what Thomas has found. Thomas has drawn the event Entourage. Event, play immediately. Play this card on any hero. That hero may now carry up to 2 additional ally cards. These may be from any locations and or ally town items. Remains in play. Well, I think since Thomas would gain a benefit from allies if he is to use his upgrade card, I think we will play that card on Thomas. And since Thomas has encountered the space, which is a mandatory action, I think we're going to just end his turn there. We don't have enough investigation to probe the secrets of any town elders. That's going to cost us 4 investigation, by the way. When you're playing in a solo game, it's 1 investigation point per hero that you're using. So in this case, we would have to pay 4 to examine the secrets of an elder. We're not going to be buying a layer card, and we won't be starting a showdown, and we won't be exchanging any items. There's no one in his space. So we'll move on now to Carl the Soldier. Incidentally, each of the investigators begins the game with 2 investigation points to start. So Carl is going to be up next. Now he has a very good combat ability, so we might want to send him into one of the more dangerous locations on the Shadowbrook board, depending upon his role. The southerly locations, the abandoned keep and the old woods, are slightly more dangerous. The windmill and the manor are slightly less dangerous. And here's Carl's roll for movement. He rolls a 1. Now, in this game, when you roll a 1, that entitles you, 1 for movement, that entitles you to a draw of an event card. So we're going to have Carl draw an event. And it's revealed to be, I think not, event. Cancel an event card as it is played, or an event result on the villain's minion chart, or prevent one source from moving the shadow track, or cancel a layer card as it is played on a d6 roll of 5+. All right, well, we're going to add that card to our community pool of cards. Any of the heroes will be able to play that when they wish. Now, Carl has only 1 movement point. We have a choice now. We could send him to either the church, where he would be able to draw an event and then possibly train his spirit, which he needs to do, since one of the advantages of the Banshee is that spectral ability, where she gains an advantage over any hero with a spirit value less than 4. Or we could move him to the blacksmith, where he'll draw an event card and then be able to shop at the store and purchase some items. I'm more inclined to head to the blacksmith, so I think we'll have Carl move 1 space to the blacksmith. There's no enemies there, so he'll encounter the space, and he'll start by drawing an event. The event is revealed to be Search for the Truth event. Play to look at the town elder's secrets without revealing them. You may discard any number of those secrets by paying 1 investigation each. Afterward, if the town elder has no secrets remaining, draw 1 new secret for them without looking. The flavor text reads, I will find out what I'm looking for. All right, well, that would be one way that we could try to get rid of that coward secret that is harboring Reverend Harding. All right, we're going to add that card to our community pool of events, and then Carl's going to do a little shopping at the blacksmith. Shopping involves utilizing the town items deck. Now, this deck is open to inspection by any of the investigators, and any of the items there can be purchased for a variable amount of investigation tokens. Thomas only has 2 investigation points at the moment, so his choices at the town store are limited. He's going to purchase a horse for 2 investigation. It's going to give him a +1 to his movement values. So we're going to add that to his card. And that's going to end the turn, I think, for Carl, and we'll move on now to Anne-Marie, the school teacher. Anne-Marie now currently has a spirit of 4, so that's good for us in relation to the Banshee's Spectre ability. Now, she has a special ability called Knowledge is Power, and she's going to gain +2 to combat for each book item that she has. So I think we're going to have Anne-Marie try to acquire some books. So if her movement will allow, I think we're going to try to move Anne-Marie to the manor. If we consult our Shadowbrook map reference and charts, it lists the manor as focuses on spirit, secrets, and books. So I think that will be a good location for her to travel to. And here's Anne-Marie's roll for move. And she rolled a 3. Unfortunately, that won't be enough for her to get to the manor. So I think in the meantime, what we would want to do is I'll have her head to the blacksmith as well. Have her go there. She'll be able to draw an event there and do a little shopping. And there are no enemies there, so she's going to encounter the space, and we'll begin by drawing an event. The event is listed as Strength of Spirit. Event, Spirit, play immediately. Play this card on any hero. +1 spirit remains in play. All right, that is great because we have several characters that are low on spirit. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to assign that Strength of Spirit card to Maria de la Rosa. That'll boost her spirit up from 2 to 3. And I think as a part of her shopping at the store, she's going to purchase the old map. It's going to cost her 2 investigation tokens. It's going to give her a +1 to honor. And instead of moving normally, she can discard the old map to move to any space on the board. So that could be quite useful for her. I should mention that each hero or investigator is limited to a total of 3 cards in their hand, 3 item cards. You can also hold 1 card from each of the corner locations. So in the event that a hero obtains a card beyond 3 of the normal item cards, they'll have to decide which one they want to keep and discard the excess. All right, that is going to end Anne Marie's turn, and we'll move on now to Maria de la Rosa. Now Maria has 2 very interesting abilities. First one is barter. That's going to allow her to purchase town items at a cost of 1 less than normal, down to a minimum of 1. So that could be quite useful for her to collect items. She also has the Secret Roots ability, which allows her to use secret passages printed on the board for free, and during her move rather than in place of her move, which is interesting. That means she would be able to move right through the secret passage and continue moving. All right, here's Maria's roll for move. And she rolls a 3. Well, she can't reach any of the corner positions from there. I think what we'll do is I'm going to have Maria move also to the blacksmith. She'll spend 1 movement point going to the blacksmith, and she's going to encounter that space. We'll begin with her drawing the event at the blacksmith. She draws the event Teamwork. Event. Play to gain +2 fight dice for each other hero in your space for a single attack, or play to prevent up to 3 hits to any other hero or town elder in your space, including town elders in your hunting party. Well, that's a pretty good card. We'll add that event card to our stack of cards. And now Maria's going to do a little shopping. Now, using her barter ability, she can purchase item cards for 1 less than their listed price. So for 2 investigation, she's going to purchase a horse and the old map. The horse giving her the +1 to move, and the map increasing her honor. That's going to complete our hero turns, and we're going to move on to the mystery phase. The mystery phase consists of 7 steps, and this is the game's ability to wreak havoc with the investigators. Step 1 is minions move. If there were any minions on the map that had movement ability, they would move 1 step, 1 space, towards either the town hall, or if they were on the coast board, towards the town square. If they're on the Echo Lake board, they move towards the town hall. Second step is the start of the mystery phase. Any additional things that would occur during the start of the mystery phase would occur now. That would be any ongoing cards that might be in play. Third step is where KO'd heroes would revive. Any heroes that are in the prone position in either the town hall, the monastery, or the town square would stand up, and they would be ready to be used in the game again. Step 4, the villain would heal. If the villain had any wounds on it, it would heal D3 wounds. Next is step 5, and we're going to make a roll on the cooperative mystery phase chart. This is going to be a 2d6 roll, and we're going to work out the indicated result. All right, here's the roll for the cooperative mystery phase chart. The roll is a 4, and that is revealed to be lies and deceit. And that reads, roll a d6. Any town elder with an honor equal to or less than the roll gains 1 secret. If any town elder has 3 or more unrevealed secrets, immediately reveal them. All right, it'll be to our benefit to roll low, because the higher we roll, the more elders are going to gain new secret cards. Here's the roll. And unfortunately, we rolled a 6. So that means all of the elders are going to gain a secret card. The game began with each of the elders having one secret, but the elders on the coast board, Mayor Carver, the Harbor Master, and the Widow Jessica, began the game with 2 secrets. So now they're going to be adding an additional secret to them, giving each of those elders 3 secrets. So we're going to have to reveal all of the secrets for those 3 Tidewater elders. We'll begin by investigating Mayor Carver's secrets. Now, if we come to a position where Mayor Carver turns into an evil elder because of one of the secrets, his card is going to flip. He'll become an evil elder, which will be controlled by the Banshee, and then we're going to discard all other secret cards that do not have the keyword evil. Here's the first secret. And that's the darkest secret, secret evil. The elder is either in direct control of the villain or is the villain. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. Do not discard this secret. The villain gains an extra +2 health, and this evil elder may not be targeted in a fight. So Mayor Carver flips to become the Elder of the Dark Gods. All right, we're going to continue to reveal the secrets, and we'll only keep those that have the evil keyword. Servant to darkness. Working in the shadows, the town elder has been seduced by the dark promise of power and riches. They are now an evil shell of their former self, little more than a henchman of darkness. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. If this elder was part of your hunting party, they immediately make a free 2 fight dice attack against you, or against every hero present if in the cooperative or team play. All right. Third card is a little secret. Full of lies, without shame or remorse, this town elder spins tales of their exploits and sows seeds of deceit amongst their rivals. No deed is too small to steal credit for. No amount of praise is ever enough. This is of no consequence to the investigation and has no effect. All right, that card is going to be discarded. The other ones will be kept, and the Elder of the Dark Gods is now a member of the Banshee's party. Now let's examine the secrets of the Harbor Master. First one is a little secret, drunkard. Locked behind closed doors, this town elder drinks into a stupor on a nightly basis, often emerging just in time to soil the front stoop. This is of no consequence to the investigation, no effect. And his next secret. Little secret, witchcraft. In the dark of night, when the black candles burn, a hushed whisper chant is all that can be heard from this town elder's chamber door. This is of no consequence to the investigation, no effect. And his final secret. Hero of the people, reveal immediately. This town elder joins you as an ally. Place the town elder card by your hero character sheet. While they are with you, you gain their special ability and may use their spirit, cunning, or honor instead of your own for any card effect or test. Anytime the shadow track crosses into a new stage, or if you are KO'd, the town elder leaves you, returning to its normal position. If this elder is not currently joined with a hero, any hero may pay 4 investigation as an action to have the town elder join them. Well, that is great. Let's take a look at the Harbor Master. He has a spirit of 1, cunning of 4, and an honor of 6. And his special ability is each fight dice roll of 1 that your opponent rolls against you does a hit to themselves. That's pretty good. Now, in this case, as we are in the mystery phase, that's being conducted by the first player. So that means the Harbor Master is going to join Thomas the Courier. So we're going to place the Harbor Master token in the same space as Thomas as a reminder that he has him as an ally. And finally, we have the Widow Jessica, and we'll see what her secrets are. Her first one is a little secret. Secret, manic. A manic sort, the elder's mood and demeanor can change dramatically at the drop of a hat. One moment they are lucid companion full of bravado and cheer. The next they are slumped in a chair, downing another swig of demon gin. This is of no consequence to the investigation, no effect. All right, here's her next secret. Inner strength, secret pure. A fire burns in the heart of this town elder. With a warrior's spirit and a hero's courage, they are a natural leader and a powerful ally. During the showdown, the hero gains +2 fight dice as well as the town elder's normal special ability. That's great. All right, this is her final secret. And that is on the hunt. Reveal immediately. Place the marker for this town elder on the board in any named space, your choice. While in the same space with this town elder, a hero may add the elder's spirit, cunning, and or honor to his own for any card effect or test. Anytime the shadow track crosses into a new stage, move the elder to a new random location. If this secret is discarded or the town elder killed, remove their marker from the board. All right. So we can place the Widow Jessica in any named space that we choose. And I think we'll place her at a location that we're likely to visit. So I'm going to place her at the manor. That's going to complete step 5 of the mystery phase. We'll move on to step 6 and we're going to draw a mystery card. And the card is Tide of Darkness, Mystery. A wave of the villain's minions attacks. Roll once on the villain's minion chart, re-rolling any event result, and place that minion as well as 2 investigation at 3 random locations. All right, consulting the Banshee minion chart, we find out that roll of 1 or roll of 5 or 6 is an event. So we're looking for a 2 to 4 will tell us what minion will be deployed to the map. Rolls a 3, and that's going to be Barrow Shade. So we'll be placing 3 Barrow Shades along with 2 investigation at 3 separate random locations. Random locations are determined by drawing layer cards. First location where Barrow Shade will appear is at the inn. Second location is at the town hall. And the third location is at the lighthouse. That completes step 6. We've placed barrow shades at the town hall, the inn, and the lighthouse. Each of those spaces have 2 investigation placed there. All that remains now is to move the first player marker from Thomas the courier to Carl the soldier. He'll be our first player for the next turn. And that completes the first turn of the game. I've taken this first turn a little slower, explaining elements of the game for those viewers that have not experienced A Touch of Evil yet. In the following episodes, I'm going to just focus when new information comes onto into the game. We'll do a brief explanation, but we'll try to pick up the pace for the future episodes. So far, the heroes have done fairly well. They've acquired some equipment. Thomas the courier has the harbor master as an ally. The Widow Jessica has been deployed to the map. She's at the manor, and she can aid individuals that will be at that location. The downside of this is all of our elders received extra secret cards, which is never a good thing. The more secret cards out, the better chance that they are going to be turned to the dark side. Thank you so much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club for this playthrough of A Touch of Evil, and I would like to invite you to tune in again next time for future episodes. Thank you for your subscriptions and your views, and I hope to see you again with the next video. Have a nice evening.